And we are live. Woo! I
Yes, yes,
am
yes.
super excited. It is Monday. It is the beginning of the week, and we have another guest for Business Solutions Monday. So, before we get started, before I jump into this introduction, I'm going to go ahead and make this video public so that you all can share. It is public. And now I'm going to step into the introduction. So this week, I am so excited. So I'm all about confident business women. So Stephanie here, the owner of Fortune Business Consulting, is here with us, and she is going to be talking to us about some personal and professional touch points for what it's like to be authentic, your authentic self, you 24/7. I know for women, like the biggest thing is we fight different battles, right? We fight insecurities, we fight confidence, all these different things. So without further ado, from Florida, we have Stephanie. Would you like to introduce yourself and your business and tell us what you do?
Absolutely. And it is an honor, a true honor to be here and share this space with you. And thank you for allowing me to come and speak in with your community. So as she mentioned, my name is Stephanie Fortune, founder of Fortune Business Consulting. We're an independent payroll and PEO consultancy. So that means that we support small and medium-sized businesses within four core areas. So number one being payroll, number two, human resource services, number three, workers' compensation, and lastly, benefits. We believe that employees are a company's first line of defense, and so we provide them with the tools that not only empower and inspire their staff, but the company as a whole.
That's awesome. I love the fact that you're doing consulting, right? But you're specializing in like human resources and getting into the weeds of what business owners need to take care of their people and their staff. So I think that's amazing.
Yes, yes, yes.
All right, so guys, what we're going to talk about today is so powerful and so relevant to today. We are going to talk about authenticity and what it's like to be a business owner, what it's like to be a woman, what it's like to be a Black woman, and all the things that come with that, right? Me and Stephanie, we were talking the other day and we were like, it's a challenge when you step into being a business owner. Eyes are on you, whether it be from social media, whether it be from people at work, and you kind of like battle between like, am I going to be Deborah today or am I going to be business owner? And the answer is you should be both. It should just be you. What are your thoughts on that and your experiences with that?
Yeah, so I agree 100%. And it's interesting because, I've navigated a number of waters, so to speak, in this transition. So one clear, evident example is my hair, right?
I love, which
So
I absolutely love. Love all of it.
thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And I was actually sharing with you that in the process of cutting my hair, because that was just pretty much just after I started my business, I decided to cut my hair. So I went from the, if you will, the token Black girl, right? The one that, all right, I'm going to be the one that's prim and proper. I have my hair straightened, long, and, I speak politically correct, and everything was all fine and dandy. And I said, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and chop this off and start over. And the feedback that I got from some pretty key people in my sphere, I found to be very interesting. I found to be very, very interesting. And again, one CEO of color that I admire, and he even said to me, Steph, I don't know, I'm not a fan. And people see you in a particular manner.
Right.
This is definitely going to shake that up.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I have challenges with that, with being in the military and, doing business as well. And it's always like that image that people have in their mind what a CEO looks like. They have that, they may have the straight hair weave, they may have their straight natural hair, they may have the eyelashes, and there's like a look, but really in reality, your look as a business owner is whatever you think that look is supposed to be. If you're the person that likes to dress down, you feel like you just want to wear blazers and jeans and heels, if that is your business, if that's your brand, make it work. So Stephanie, you work with a lot of different people. I know that you're involved in your community. Would you say that it's easy for you to just keep it strictly, how can I say, keep it parallel, like one way, one Stephanie 24/7? Would you say that's easy?
Ooh, I don't know if the word would be easy, because for me personally, there's a lot of Stephanie going on here. There's a lot of Stephanie going on here. But I can say that I can show up as myself, although at times it may come off differently. right? So you mentioned, again, being a business owner, being a philanthropist, sharing a space where I can connect with CEO, of Fortune 100, Fortune 500 companies, $100 million
Right.
in revenue coming in, to even the small mom and pops. I can be my authentic self,
Right.
but I kind of tailor and speak to my audience. And I think that's critically important, right?
Awesome.
So when you know who you're speaking to and you can kind of tailor that messaging accordingly, I think that's where it's critically important, because you want to make sure whatever message you're sending out is what's being received.
Right. And what kind of thoughts do you have, like, internally? Is it like when you're getting dressed in the morning, do you hesitate when you're getting dressed, or do you be like, hey, this is what a business owner wears, let me go ahead and throw this on? Or is it your unique style?
Oh no, I don't hesitate, honey. No. I to be honest with you, maybe I'm just beyond that place in my life. I think there's been a lot of personal growth for me, and I've evolved tremendously as a person. And so I began to pour into myself. I began to love myself. I began to accept myself. And by me doing that, it's almost as if the opinions of others doesn't really matter anymore, right? I know that who I am will come across and speaks volume in comparison to the earrings that I might wear, or the hair, or this or that. It is all a part of me, but I know that I, Stephanie, show up, right? Me, this person here. So when I dress up in the morning, honey, if I feel good, you're going to know it. Okay? You will know it. So yes.
And that's actually one of the things that, like, made me gravitate towards you and wanted you on the show. Your confidence is amazing. And that is so needed to be a successful business owner. You have to know who you are, and you have to be able to step in that every single day, because you don't know if you're going to be that next business owner that's blasted all over, media. If you become that multi-million-dollar business owner, right? You have to be comfortable in your skin. And the best practice for that as a small business owner is starting with that thought in mind. So when you are working with your clients, what would you say, do you connect most with people who look like you or people who are different from you? How does that work for Stephanie?
See, this is a great question. And I wish I could do a quick poll to see what people would think.
They can.
Yeah, let's do it, because I'm curious to know what people would actually think. So given what I look like and what I describe my business as, what would you guys say is my maybe target market, or who my clients, actually look like?
So if you're listening, just drop in the chat. Like, you can say women, or women of color, or, everybody, short, tall. Who do you think that Stephanie works with the most as far as her clients are concerned?
This should be a very interesting one.
Sometimes I have to double check on. Let's see here.
Yeah.
All right, folks are quiet tonight. It's all right.
No worries. So interestingly enough, it's diverse. However, there's probably less than 5% that look like me. So
that's interesting.
Yes, probably less than 5%. Most of the businesses that I work with are run by men, number one, right? So I would say anywhere between 70 to 80%. And then even that kind of spreads the gamut, but it's usually older white males. It's usually older white males. And if we go back now to who I am, how I show up in my authentic self, right? If I was me from 3-4 years ago asking, well, if I were to cut my hair, if I were to do this, if I would have did that, I wonder if these people would, decide to become my clients. Like, would I grow a business like this? And I would have said no. I would have said no.
I love.
But like you mentioned, pouring into myself and kind of, I had to first accept myself, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Right.
Absolutely.
And so, I think it, like you said, couples with that confidence. And it was key conversations with older white males that ultimately made me decide to start my business, actually. Right. They kind of motivated me and gave me, I don't want to say a blueprint per se, but they kind of put together a roadmap saying, hey, this is what the numbers would look like. This is how things would have to go in order for it to make sense for you to make this move. Right. This is how many clients, you would have to bring on, and they would have to bring in this much revenue, and so on and so on and so on. And so it was a process, but I could certainly say that I've had support from a community that does not primarily look like me. And I think that's an interesting topic too, especially, and when we look at it, and I wish I had these stats, But even in the last year, let's say the number of businesses that open, is it open by minorities? Is it open by women of color? I know right now, women of color are primarily the largest group that's opening businesses right now.
Yes.
So that, for me, that's interesting too, because yet and still, and I don't know if maybe they don't have the support, right? So that's another point to kind of think about. So that's interesting.
Yeah, no, I think that's awesome. So if you're just tuning in, right? So we're talking about being authentic in business. And with being authentic, that means bringing all of you, your natural hair, your culture, all of that, and not hiding that, because that makes you unique. That makes you a touch point. And in Stephanie's case, you know, most of her clients do not look like her, and she's showing up and being authentic. So I think that is amazing. And that's something to remind you all that there is no specific way in which you should look or carry yourself, as long as you're, of course, bringing your A game and you're professional. Those are the two things that must sustain. But what that visually looks like, there is no general actual image of that. So let's touch up on something else. So you are a first generation business owner for your family.
Yes.
Super inspiring. For people who are listening, first generation means first person in the family to start a business. How has that been for you? What inspired you to start, since you didn't see it in your household or in your family's lineage?
So, I never really thought about this.
Wow. That's interesting in itself.
Yeah. You kind of just like I never really thought about it. Huh. Yeah, because I think what has worked in my favor is the fact that I didn't have any limiting beliefs tied to anything like that, right? I think a lot of people have this notion that, all right, I can't do this because of that, or I can't do this because maybe I look like that, or I'm a female, or I'm Black, or this or that. I feel like oftentimes it's like, who am I not to? So I think it's interesting, because while I didn't see any examples of, I guess, in my family, what to do, I also didn't see any limitations as to say that I could not do it. And so for me, I had the audacity, if you will, right? Woo! I sought out mentors, right? So I was intentional. I sought out mentors. I sought out, books. I listened to podcasts. I connected with people in my sphere and in spheres and rooms that I wanted to get into and be a part of conversations that I wanted access to. And that is really a big part of what inspired me. I don't think for me at least, I had to see this example in my house, or my mom or my dad had to do this in order for it to say that this is something that I'm capable of doing. I think I never really put any limitations like that on myself. And I think when we do that, that's really when we begin to doubt ourselves and our potential and what we can achieve. So ultimately, I feel like those things hinder people more than they truly inspire people.
Man, yeah, for sure. I think that is like truly powerful, because, and I kind of quoted what you just said. I had the audacity to start a business. Like, who did you think you were to start a business, right? But I love the fact that you said, hey, even though I didn't see this in my family, I also didn't see what kept me from doing it. I didn't see any limitations. So I think you are a great example for people of color to see you say, hey, my situation, which that I saw growing up, is not holding me back. It's not stopping me. I didn't have the cookie cutter lifestyle. And you're also
not even close. Not even close.
And you also traveled here. You were not United States native, correct?
No. So from here originally.
Okay, from here. Your family was not.
Yeah, correct. Okay. Yes. So my parents, yes.
Okay. Awesome. So you kind of have like different perspective with that being in your bloodline from a different country and all those things. So what do you think being a woman in business, like how is that currently for you right now? Does that make you work harder, or does it make you feel intimidated? I feel like I already know your answer just because.
So in 2021, so for me personally, like as Stephanie Fortune, I work hard. Even if I don't want to, I work hard, right? I think that with some of the setbacks I had, so to speak, in life. So again, being first generation, having at this point both of my parents deceased, not necessarily having some of the support that a lot of people have, it taught me grit, it taught me to hustle, it taught me to work. Now, when you couple that with being a female, and especially for an industry like mine, right? So I'm in like an HR space, I'm in a payroll space. Professionals in that space are usually women. But when you have your own business and you're working with other business owners, they are primarily men, older men at that.
True.
Right. So now,
weathered,
yes.
Yep.
And so what tends to happen now, and again, me being younger, is I come into a space and oftentimes, if there's hesitation, and I think I experienced this a little bit earlier in my career, it's usually an age thing, or if it's industry based, right? Because let's say, I would say about 50 or so % of my clients are in the construction space. So again, male dominated space, right?
Absolutely.
And even when you touch into the insurance, again, male dominated space.
Absolutely.
So now when you get into these spaces, the question is, well, what do you know about this? What experience do you have here? How could you help me? Right. And so I think that, again, that inspired me to learn what I needed to learn. That inspired me to continue to seek out information and take that information and turn it into applied knowledge, right? So that turned into action. So it kind of inspired me and compelled me to be hungry, if you will, and to kind of get and seek more information so I can support my clients in a better way. And that's why, again, I can go back to saying that who I am, what I am able to do speaks louder than anything else for me.
Yes. And you know what? I said this quote the other day: be so good they can't ignore you, right? Show up, be amazing, and no one can question, like, how long have you been in this industry? Who said that you were qualified to teach me something? You're a woman, I'm a man. None of that exists when you're so good that they cannot ignore you. So throughout your journey, has there been any challenges that you can remember that was like maybe a pinpoint or a turning point in your journey of entrepreneurship?
Strictly entrepreneurship?
Or in life, because that goes hand in hand. I see a comment in the chat from Eric Littlejohn: information, applied knowledge, action. True.
Yes. That's the one.
So in life too, because sometimes things happen in our lives, good and bad, that actually cross over and impact what we do in business. Right. So what was your turning point? What's made you start your business? How about that?
Okay, I like it. So for me, I guess entrepreneurship, or hustle, if you will, has always been in me. So because, again, I've experienced, going without. I am one of 13, both parents deceased. We had to work to make it happen. Again, like food stamp, the whole nine. Like we were hungry, the whole nine. So for me, that hustle was always there. If I wanted something, I had to work for it. I played sports when I was younger. If I wanted a jersey, if I wanted uniform, if I wanted sneakers, I had to sell candy, chips, and do whatever else to get the money in order to do that. So that was always a part of who I am. Or who I was, rather, and who I ultimately became and still am today. Now, fast forward to when I decided to go to university, I was working in a retail space, and I saw that there was a bit of a disconnect between employee and employer, or upper level management and folks that were just kind of getting their feet wet, so to speak, right? And I was like, what is the disconnect? Because if I want leniency when I request time off, or if I want extended vacation time, I'm going to do what I came here to do. And on top of that, I'm getting paid for it. So I may as well do it anyway, right? I'm literally getting paid for it.
Exactly.
So for me, it made sense. But for a lot of people, it didn't. And again, I realized I was unique in that sense because I just worked. Like that's just who I was. So I kind of began to study this space, and I came across human capital consulting. And once I found this space, I again sought out people that had experience in this space. And I ultimately found someone that worked in this space. He had his own business, and he actually was on one of the committees for a nonprofit, Handy. And so I connected with him, and over the course of a few months, we ultimately decided to work together, and I went to go work for him. And so in doing that, it was able to position me in an opportunity to learn about the industry, which was a new industry to me. But it kind of worked well in that I was able to work with businesses. I was able to provide them a solution that, again, truly inspired and empowered their people, right? Because, again, I think that the human element, us, right, the human capital, if you will, is the most important asset of an organization.
Yes.
For me, it's really that simple, right?
Absolutely.
And so No, I was just going to say, so once you have that and you're able to motivate and inspire them, there's no cap to what your organization can achieve when you have people that are happy, they're inspired, they're motivated. But that's ultimately was I guess the impetus of how I got into this space. And then to start my own company again was just the push from a lot of clients to say, hey, look, I like you, Stephanie. I really like you. Why don't you come and work for me? And I got that request so many times. I'm like, yeah, no, I don't think I want to go work for you. But then when they revised the offer and it was, hey, you know what? I like what you're doing for me here. Is there something else that you could help me with, like so-and-so? And I got that request enough times where I said, you know what? A lot of businesses do need support. They do need resources. And clearly I have a cap within my organization that's not able to fill these needs, but I have access to the knowledge and I can certainly get more access to the knowledge and the solutions. And there's a need here. So by couple finding solutions and there's a clear need that people are ready to pay money for, right? There's an opportunity here for me. And that's what, again, inspired me to make that jump.
Absolutely. So identify a clear need. Yes. So that's you basically position yourself to be an asset to other businesses to the point where they're like, hey, I want to work for you. So that goes in the whole being authentic, right? You were authentic in what you did when you showed up at work and you were a hard worker, you were knowledgeable, and people saw that. If you would have tried to compress that, if you would have held that back, people may not have known what you had to offer. So, and then the thing that I love about your business is taking care of people, like you said, is the number one asset. That is like the core component to leadership. You can have a business all day, but if you don't have people who is pushing that well-oiled machine, it is not going to sustain. Yeah. That is awesome. So where do you see your business going in the next couple of years? Do you think you're going to make this, you're going to bring people on to your team, or you think you're going to continue to operate this independently?
Oh, absolutely. So I have an office space in downtown Fort Lauderdale. We're cleaning it out. Yeah, so that's exciting. So we're cleaning it out. We're going to get some furniture in there next week. So yes, the plan is definitely to grow this year. We're looking to bring on 3 to 5 people, and then we're going to continue to grow from there. So we know that we can provide solutions, and we know there's a need out there. And so now it's just a matter of, again, putting the processes and procedures in place to be able to provide that and have the personnel to hold that with. And so I'm an advocate of, again, putting the right solutions in place for businesses. And I know for myself, processes and procedures are critical to that.
Yes.
And I deliver at a high level. I do have a standard, so I know that it will not be easy. However, again, putting these things in place and having it essentially where it's scalable, it can be duplicated and automated, and then bring the people in there to make sure that my clients get a high touch experience through and through. It's going to be exciting. I'm very excited about it. I'm nervous because it's like, again, people talk about fear of failure. And for me right now, it's fear of success, where it's like, man, I've been thinking about this for so long and the doors are opening up literally. And I'm like, wow, like it's happening. So
that's the power of being a visionary. So that is extremely awesome. Again, if you're just tuning in, right? So Stephanie, she is a first generation business owner. She started this business from the ground up, located in Florida. She's a woman. She's a confident woman. And everything about her, when she speaks confidently, with knowledge, with poise. And you are being a representation, and you're young. You are 30, what?
27.
20, not even 30 years old. Your level of maturity made me think that you were like in your 30s. 27 years old, ladies and gentlemen. You cannot be too young. You cannot be, the wrong race. Like everything that you have to bring to the table is for your designed mission. That is amazing. So we want to congratulate you. You guys drop it in the chat. Congratulate Stephanie on her business, her brick and mortar that she's getting ready to stand up. Is there any advice that you have for people that are at home? They're like, you know what? I have an idea, but I'm afraid to step out on faith. Do you have any advice for those folks?
Have a compelling enough why. So I am not one of those people that say, oh yeah, entrepreneurship is for everybody, because it is not. It is not. But when you have a compelling enough why, and that desire burns within you, and you realize the purpose is greater than yourself, it is very difficult to silence that.
Ooh.
And so what it will do is inspire you to act. And again, we talked about action earlier. It'll inspire you to act. So whether you have the resources, whether you have the network, whether you have the know-how right now today, it will inspire you to act to get it. So you will find the people, you will find the resources, you will find the podcast, you will watch videos like this. It will compel you to act. And by being able to do that, you will then actualize everything that you're compelled to do. So your purpose on earth, you'll be able to see that. And it'll just, the path will become easier. You'll notice that things kind of are put more into alignment for you. So just find that compelling enough why, whatever that is, just dig deep. Ask yourself why 5 times, and then 2 more times just to be sure. Okay. So that's what I would definitely say, because it will compel you to act.
I actually love the fact that you said, business ownership is not for everybody. You have to have that compelling why, because at the end of the day, right, when things are unforeseen situations pop up, you have to be able to fall back on that why. So it's been an honor having you on the show today. I think, again, what drew me to Stephanie is her confidence, and just like the way that she just draws in that energy you have is amazing. And the hair, of course.
Thank you.
And I think today's topic is very important, being authentic in everything that you do in your business. And just not being afraid to let yourself go, as long as you're professional and as long as you are doing it with purpose.
And have that courage. Have that courage. That's one thing that we kind of touched on it before. A lot of times we have these limiting beliefs in our mind that say, okay, if I show up this way, I won't be seen, I won't be accepted. Things will not play out the way that I desire them to. But have that courage, one step at a time, one day at a time. It's not going to happen overnight, but have that courage and begin to pour into yourself, and you'll see that the opportunities truly are endless.
No, that's so true. And I even take that in as well. You just stepping out and just trusting in your decisions and your path, guys. So you see it. This is real people, real business owner, 27 years old, out here doing it, building a business from scratch. Physical location in Florida. Where are you built? Fort Lauderdale?
In Fort Lauderdale, yes.
Such a awesome location.
Yes, I'm excited. I'm very excited.
Women celebrating women, ladies and gentlemen. That is so amazing. Love it.
And I admire you, to be clear. Again, you're creating this amazing space for businesses and entrepreneurs to truly create their legacy. Like, truly, you're talking about it, right? So they're creating something that a lot of people, maybe even before them, never thought was an option. Like, again, they could not even have the audacity. So you're creating the space to provide them with the tools and resources, the inspiration to do just that. So I admire you for that.
I really appreciate that. And I thank you so much for your time, because I know you're busy. Ladies and gentlemen, the folks that come on here, they have to carve out time for me. And I really, really appreciate it. So I hope you guys learned a lot from Stephanie. Please do not hesitate to contact her. What's the best way that they can reach out to you, either for, partnership, mentorship, business?
I like it all. So the best phone number, now I have to go back and get the phone number. The best phone number is going to be 954-355-1582. And I could always be reached, usually online, at Stephanie Fortune or at Fortune Business Consulting. Yep, I like it. And again, I'm always here to be a resource to again, persons that are looking to, again, be a resource to themselves. Right? When you want to be motivated and empowered, and you're here and you're looking for resources, I'm here to be your resource.
That's awesome. I really appreciate you extending yourself out to the audience. And we had Eric Littlejohn again say, inspiration plus people equals no limits. Powerful.
That's the one. Yeah.
That is it. All right, guys. This is another Monday of Business Solutions Monday. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you guys gained some valuable gems, knowledge from Stephanie. She is amazing. Again, you see she's extending herself, so don't hesitate to jump off of here and connect with her. So thank you, Stephanie, again for your time.
Thank you.
You guys have a great night. It's Monday.
Great night, guys.
Good night,
Have a good
beautiful
evening,
people.
everyone.